Let us continue with the projections of planes. Wherein you remember that in the previous classes we have started with oblique planes having different cases. So what exactly I am going to do from now onwards, maybe I will be taking another 2 to 3 sessions wherein I will be covering the problems which are corresponding to some, I can say, typical problems, that is which I have not done in the earlier instances. Okay, now let us go to this particular problem. A square plate of 40 mm size is resting on one of its corners in HP on HP. One of the diagonals is inclined at 45 degrees to HP and then it is inclined at 30 degrees to VP, and the same thing what I given is it appears to be inclined at 30 degrees to VP. Draw its projections. Now as you can see, I have given a square plate, that is a square line. So as usual, first thing I need to say is from which view I need to start. So what is the hint in this particular problem to say that I need to start from a particular view. So that particular catch will be this. It is given that it is resting on one of its corners in HP. Now since I have given one of its corners resting on HP, we know that this particular corner in the initial position should be such that it should make the other two sides contain that corner should make equal inclination with reference to VP. Now since I want to make that particular statement that VP details I need to satisfy. So how do you satisfy VP details? Once I start from top view. So I can say that since it is given that one of its corners in HP, it is better I need to start from top view. For example, without looking into these sentences, if I simply say that it is resting on one of its corners in VP, then what do you do? If I give in this particular manner, then it is quite obvious that I need to start from front view. That means, depending upon one of its corners in HP or in VP, I need to start accordingly. Okay, now anyway in this particular problem, since I given that it is resting on one of its corners in HP, we need to start from top view. Okay, so how do you start the top view? So as we know that I will start the top view such that the corner containing the two sides will make equal inclinations, or I can also say that the corner and the center of that particular square lamina, if I join that particular line, that line has to be parallel to VP. Okay, anyway now if you just remember in the previous problems, I used to give one surface inclination, one side inclination. Now if we just see this particular problem, I have not given with reference to surface at all. Instead of that, what I have given, I have simply given that one of the diagonals is inclined at 45 degrees to HP. Okay. Now since I want to satisfy that one of the diagonals should be inclined at 45 degrees to HP, then where do you see this inclination of HP with reference to the surface? It will be seen in front view only. That means say that in the front view, I need to show that particular diagonal inclined at 45 degrees. Now we know that if I just demonstrate this, I would have taken in this particular fashion, because anyway I told you that I need to draw the top view such that the corner containing the two sides should make equal inclinations, or this particular corner and the center of the lamina, if I join that line, that is parallel to VP. So I have written it this way. And of course since I wanted this corner to rest on HP, I will consider that entire lamina to be lying on HP itself. Now, you know that once I draw the initial views, so now I have not given directly the surface inclination. Instead of that, I give the diagonal. So which is the diagonal I need to consider? I need to consider the diagonal which is passing that particular corner. So this particular diagonal, if you just see in the first figure, it is parallel to VP. Since it is parallel to VP, it is a true diagonal and the angle given is also true angle, so that I can simply lift in this fashion. That is, in the second stage, the diagonal passing through this particular corner has to be inclined at 45 degrees. So this is what I am going to do. Okay, now what is the next step? In the next step, I have given, it is also inclined at 30 degrees to VP. So which is that particular one? The diagonal. That is, the diagonal which was inclined at 45 to HP, this particular diagonal should also incline at 30 degrees to VP. Now as such the second stage, this particular diagonal still it is parallel to VP. Okay, now what I need to do in the third stage, I need to rotate this. Now as you can see, I have given two cases. So if you just remember in the first case, In the first case, I simply given that particular diagonal is inclined at 30 degrees. That is, this particular angle, whatever I have given, it is the true angle. But if I want to redraw the second stage, redraw the third stage, wherein I am going to take the second stage. In the second stage, already the diagonal is foreshortened now. Now, since the diagonal is foreshortened in the top view, that is not true diagonal. That may say that I need to determine the apparent angle so that I can do the third stage. Whereas if I consider this one, it appears to be inclined at 30. What only appears to be? That may say that he has given directly the apparent length or the apparent angle, because already in the second stage the diagonal would have been become foreshortened and the angle given is appears to be, that is, he has given beta directly, so that you need to have to again determine the apparent angle. Okay, let us do this on this particular drawing board. Okay, so let us consider this xy line. Okay, now as I said, we need to start from top view. How do you start the top view? I will draw the top view such that the corner containing the two sides should make equal inclination. Since it is a square, since it is a square, every line will make 45 degrees to one another. So we'll just do that. Okay, so I just written the square. So as usual, I can just name them A, B, C, D. Then I need to draw the corresponding front view. Since I wanted this corner to rest on HP, what I do is I will consider the entire lamina to be resting on HP itself. So draw the projectors. So always remember, projector should be as light as possible. So this is the lamina, and as usual name them A dash, B dash, C dash and D dash. So stage 1 is over. What about stage 2? In the stage 2, instead of giving the surface is inclined, I have given the diagonal. So now it is given that the diagonal is inclined at 45, that is one of the diagonal. Which is diagonal I will consider? So either I consider this or this. So which is better? If we consider this particular square lamina, we have two diagonals. One is AC, another is BD. Which one you consider? I need to consider this diagonal. Is it okay? Because this diagonal is perpendicular. But I need to consider the diagonal which is parallel to VP. Since this particular diagonal is parallel to VP, I can simply take this particular angle, that is 45 degrees to HP. That is, the diagonal AC is inclined at 45 to HP. That may say that instead of giving the surface inclination, I have given in terms of side inclination itself. Okay, so let me do that. So take this length, put it here. So let me name them A dash, B dash, C dash and D dash, and this angle is theta. Remember, this angle theta, what we have shown here, it is for the diagonal AC, which is also equivalent to say that the surface itself is inclined at 45 degrees. Now since the lamina is inclined at 45 degrees, we know that in the top view it will be seen as a smaller in size. That figure I am going to get from this view as well as from the previous top view. So draw these projectors. So get the points as usual, A, B, C and D, and join them in the same proper sequence, A to B, B to C, C to D, D back to A. Okay, now second set is over. Now I need to satisfy these two conditions. That is, I can say I have given two cases. Okay, that is, I have given first case is such that the true diagonal AC is also inclined at 30 degrees to VP. Since it is also perpendicular to VP, means the diagonal is inclined. Diagonal means it should be true diagonal. That means say that the angle what it is given 30 degrees is phi. That is the true diagonal. But you know that if I want to redraw this figure, now what is happened to AC here? AC is the diagonal has been foreshortened. That is, it is the apparent angle, apparent length. So remember, apparent length and true angle I cannot mix. So always remember, true angle should go with true length. Similarly, apparent length should go with apparent angle. So now anyway, I know this apparent length. So since I know apparent length, I need to determine the apparent angle. So how do you find the apparent angle? So which I have already done in the previous class also. So what do you do then? First, I will draw a line which is inclined at 45 degrees to, 30 degrees to VP. From here, either I can draw in this way or in this way. You can do it in any fashion. Okay. Let us I am going to do in this way now. 30 degrees. Is it okay? Then what I should do? Upon this particular 30 degrees line, I need to consider because anyway this is the true angle now. So true angle theta. True angle phi. So upon this true angle phi, I need to get this true length AC diagram. That is, I can just draw in this way. Okay, so that means that I am just going to measure this and put it here. Remember, if I do it here, because these things will happen to you also. Because since I taken here, if I want to redraw this figure now, so you can see that some portion may go above your xy line. But we know that top you should be below xy line. So, no need to draw here itself. Only thing is, I will consider another line like this. Is it clear? So, that is the reason I just taken here. Now, just to clarify you that no need that I should take always here only. If I can take here also I can take. But if I take here, conveniently your top view will be below xy line. Okay, now let's say I will take on this line because here also this angle is how much? Here also the angle is phi. I am going to take this particular line. Okay, so true diagonal I am going to take this. Take this anywhere you can take. So let us say I am going to take from here to here. So this is A, this is C. Okay, anyway, once this A is fixed and C is fixed, these are the locus points, locus lines. And this particular line is, as I said, what is this line now? This is TL, remember, true length and true angle. But now I know apparent length. Now since I know the apparent length, I can find the apparent angle also. Okay, how do you get this apparent angle then? From this second stage, you take this apparent length. You see, this apparent length always depending upon this theta now. That will say that this particular figure is the reference figure for me to get the third stage. Okay, let us take this. So take this, either you cut it from here or cut it from here. You can do it any fashion you can do. Okay, let us say I am going to do from here to here. So I am going to take this length AC and cut it. So now we can see this is my diagonal. This is my diagonal. Now if I increase, if I extend this line, I am going to extend this line. So what about this angle now? This angle is beta, and this beta is always greater than phi. Now what I need to do? Now I need to redraw this figure here such that this AC should match with this particular AC. So what I do here is, I will consider this to be AC. Let us say AC1 you write, because anyway this true length now, let us say AC1. So let us say this is my AC. Now anyway this is the center point now. So now only thing is, I need to draw everything based on, this is my reference line now. Okay, now anyway here all the lines are perpendicular to this. The same thing, this line is here, the other line is perpendicular to this particular AC. Okay, now let me take this length and put it here. Then get that line. So get that line. Then I am going to just transfer these distances. One side and on this side. So I am going to get this particular figure. So I can say A to B, B to C, C to D, D back to A. Is it okay? So A, B, C, D. Now we have got the new top view. Now I need to get the new front view. How to get the new front view? As usual, draw the projectors, the horizontal projectors from the previous front view, draw the vertical projectors from the new top view. Okay, so let us do that. Okay, let me give these points. A, B, D is on the same level. Then get this D. Okay, so I can say A, B, C and D. Now join them in the same proper sequence. That is A to B, B to C, C to D, D back B. If you have done the problem right, remember you would have got this line parallel, this line parallel, so that this distance because here you can see that this distance has come out a little bit smaller than this. It should not be. But remember, once you get the figure, you can also gauge how this particular finally you are going to get. Okay. Now anyway, this particular case corresponds to this case 1. It is in the 30 degree VP. Now it appears to be inclined 30 degree VP. So what do you mean this appears to be? Since the waiver appears to be inclined 30 degrees, means he has given directly the apparent angle. Since already we know the apparent angle and already we have the apparent line in the second stage, I can simply redraw this figure so that I am going to get the solution. Is it okay? So now I can say this is corresponding to case 1. Okay, so what about case 2? In case 2, I will consider another line like this, which is same thing. I can take that 30 degrees now. So let me take 30 degrees only. So this is 30 degrees line. That is, now I can say this particular angle. This angle is what? Beta. Here beta is equal to 30 degrees. In this case, phi is equal to 30 degrees. So you can just see the difference between this. See, even though this angle between, say, anyway I said your phi is 30. If you determine beta, it will be maybe around 2 degrees or 3 degrees more. It will not, let us say it is 30, it cannot be 45 degrees. Maybe we will get another 2 or 3, maybe it will be 33 or 32, something like that. So obviously your shape will not change. So you should not say that sir, shape will not change, even you can be marks for this. No. So whenever you do this particular shape, we are going to look for this. Whether you have calculated the apparent angle. Once you have done this, we are going to get the full marks for this stage. Okay, but anyway, now let us do this. Okay, now anyway, beta itself is 30 degrees. So take this AC, somewhere I will take AC here. Then this is the center line. So upon this, I should take half on either side. Okay, so A, B, C, D. So we have the same projectors. I just got these points. So of course it should be dashes, remember, because always in the front view the points has to be dashes. Okay, now let us complete this. A to B, so B to C, C to D and D back to A. Is it clear? So as you can see, you are going to get almost same shape. It will not be that much difference because that beta angle and the phi angle difference is very, very small. But anyway, you need to follow the procedure. So remember, whenever in the problem, if it is given that, especially in this particular problem, here I given directly the diagonal itself is inclined 30 degrees to BP. Instead of that, I can say it appears to be inclined at 30 degrees, or I can also say top view of the diagonal is also inclined. Also, I can say top view of the diagonal is inclined. So even if I say in this particular fashion also, that will say that beta has been given directly. Since beta is given directly, I can simply redraw the second stage and get this stage 3. Is it okay? Thank you.